Good day, everybody. I am here to speak a little bit about the Jacksonville shooting from a couple days ago. Um, what can you say? First of all, it's a tragedy. It may have not have had the body count that some of other mass shootings have had in the last couple years. I believe there was 4 casualties and several more injured, but it's a tragedy. How does this happen? How does this happen? My first reaction to the news was actually, I would have thought I don't go to a lot of major events. And actually, I'll be honest, part of it is that I'm afraid of these incidents. I can't think of I think the last big event I went to maybe was last year, and it was at a rib fest. It was an outdoor music and rib festival. But you can't even get in there without them going through your bags. If you bring anything in, they're going to look through your bags. Now they might be looking mostly for like food and stuff, but they basically go through it. And you can't get in there without. You can't get in there with like weapons and things like that. They're going to find them. They check purses. And they pat you down. So I was kind of surprised. I don't know if they're going to share details about how much security was involved, but I would have thought metal detectors. I would have thought something. They would be checking bags. I don't know for sure if it wasn't done there. The police haven't released all the information yet. Maybe it was never done before, and maybe no one ever thought that something like this would ever happen at a place where people are just playing games. Well, now we have yet another innocent pastime taken from us. This will ever be etched in our memory now. I know they're canceling similar events around the country right now, and it's a shame. It's a shame for people who just enjoy, playing the games. It's a shame for people who earn a living from it, and it's a shame for all the families who are now suffering for the lost loved ones. It's just. It just makes you shake your head. It's like when will this? I don't think it will end. I know they're still gathering details on the shooter's history. I've watched some of the sheriff's updates, and they're keeping all their cards close to their chest. They're trying not to say too much while the investigation's going on. But, and I'm not here to specifically pick anything apart, but. I'm sure we'll learn some more about the background of whether the shooter had a history of aggressive outbursts or anything like that. But this man was from Baltimore, and not a dig at Maryland. This is for any state, but I guess is it that easy for a person with mental illness to get a gun? It's scary, really, really scary. Gun control, gun lobbyists, whatever side of the line you fall on, you have to admit that. Whether we ban all guns or limit people's access to guns, something needs to be done in respect to the area of mental illness. This is actually something I blame society on. Let me explain. In society, we are so quick to diagnose people, so quick to prescribe medication to anybody who acts weird, gets depressed, has any sort of mental issue. We have more diagnoses now than we've ever had in human history. But when it comes to consequences, when it comes to repercussions, what does it all mean? It means absolutely nothing. It is rare that an individual has rights taken away from them when diagnosed with any sort of mental issue. They can drive a car, they can hold office, they can vote, and yes, they can own a gun. They can own many guns. We're so quick to diagnose people. We're so quick to diagnose, and you see people on the news all the time saying, "Where was the person's treatment? Where was the help?" We're trying to get the person help, but we take a blind eye to the effects that this has on society. Treatment is a huge part of the issue. For example, if a person has seizures, they can actually be blocked from getting a driver's license. If they have depression, though, they can still buy a gun. Why not ban guns for people with depression? If for nothing else, for their own safety. I mean, you don't want anybody who's depressed to have a gun in their possession. I would be worried for them if that's actually their ailment. And I'm saying this as a proponent of gun ownership. I think people should have the right to own guns, unless deemed in any way to be a danger to themselves or society. And whether that means, it's not just about, if you fall on some FBI watch list, but, if you have mental issues, obviously it can be reported if you have seizures that you can't get a driver's license. Well, why not mental issues as well? Hold the people that are diagnosing these people responsible. Hold the states responsible for doing that part of the background check. Maybe some states do that now. I don't know for sure. I have to do the research to find if all 50 states do that. But obviously there's a way for people to still get guns, because this gentleman did. There just needs to be more attention on that. And I'll say one other thing too. Parents, teach your kids about competition. This might be a stretch to even connect this to this tragedy, but seriously, parents, teach your kids about competition. Having our kids grow up not understanding that sometimes people win and sometimes people lose is doing them a disservice. This was a young man. He was 24 years old. Not in my generation. And, maybe this applies to the situation or not. Again, I don't know him or his family personally in any way. It's just my opinion. So, take it with a grain of salt. But I think kids need to be taught about how to handle losing. He may have had mental struggles, but in the end, the trigger was losing to somebody. He lost a game. It was a game. Now, maybe there was money riding on it. Whatever he was hoping for. When I was a kid, you played a game. There was first place, second place, third, and that's it. There weren't trophies for everybody. We didn't try to make everyone feel good, and that there were no, quote, losers or anything like that. Perhaps, just perhaps, this man needed it a little bit more in his life. I know that's my big leap for the day. I don't know. I somehow, as I was watching the news, that's what I was just thinking. Like, did this guy was he just not used to losing? Maybe it was just such a shock. And obviously, it wasn't the only thing. He obviously had a history of other issues, but that was the trigger. And maybe if he had a little bit more of that, maybe it wouldn't have gotten to the point where other people were injured and unfortunately killed. So, thanks for listening. If you have an opinion, agree, disagree, feel free to speak your mind in the comments. I will try to respond to any direct questions. Have a great day.